And Shanti Parvan as well as Anushasana Parvan, both of them deal with the way in which the human life is flowing and the way in which human life could be governed. This is one of the very long dialogues between Bhishma and Yudhishthir. And there are several questions which Yudhishthir has been, in fact, asking, and they are rather probing questions, they are pointed questions. So, what are the kinds of things that he is asking? Why is it that the man feels sad? Why is he unhappy? What is it that really gnaws him? What is it that makes him so uncomfortable about life? This is a counterpart of asking a question, when does the man feels happy? But instead of answering the question of happiness, it is actually characterizing the nature of sadness, the nature of pain that he actually experiences. And the sources of these are not one, but many. There are nearly 18 shlokas which actually describe this explicitly, giving the reasons why a person would be feeling a pain. And it is so much a pain that the description of the person suffering from that pain is given in terms of why does he look like being pale and weak. These are the two terms. In fact, there is something like a Drupada for this description, where all the time the description, the shloka ends with two adjectives, harinaha krushaha. Tenasi harinaha krushaha. That's why you feel weak and pale. So, for example, it says, why do you feel weak and pale? Why you might have been feeling weak and pale? These are all possibilities. This is not one single diagnosis. And please understand this, there is no single diagnosis. There are several reasons which are being sought for simply explaining one phenomenon for which the expression looks like the same, that is appearing weak and pale. But the origins of it, the sources of this weakness and pale, or the causes of this are so diverse. Some of these are located within the person, some of them are located outside the person. It says that although enjoying world wonderful pleasures, you are in a foreign land and far away from your own dear ones, and that's the reason why you feel weak and pale. Maybe that due to disorders of their own character, your friends have abandoned you. You are not traveled elsewhere. You are where you are. But the friends have abandoned you. So that renders the land where you locate yourself itself as being a foreign land. That's the reason why it follows another. There are many such connections. Again, I will not comment on all of them. Your friends have abandoned you when you have been so good to them. And that's the reason why you feel and become weak and pale. Maybe of much lower qualities than you are. But because they are rich, glowing, some people ignore you and hardly recognize you. That may be the reason why you feel weak and pale. The man of qualities that you are, learned, humble, yet you get no recognition. Whereas those who don't have any such qualities, they don't have their own mind either, but you see them being very highly respected. Or maybe that you have no means of livelihood. So you have only anxiety, but not means of livelihood. But you are too proud to ask because you can't break that sense of whatever self-respect that you generate out of not having something. And indeed, you are considering asking as being not so dignified. And that's the reason why you feel so weak and pale. From your goodness, when you do some good to another, the other person who receives that good thing from you thinks that it is your weakness. And that's the reason why you have been good to him. And in that sense, he has reduced you. Maybe that is the reason why you feel weak and pale. You have a noble mind. You are deserving of respect. But those who have no claims to knowledge and make little of you, and those who are wicked insult you. Maybe that's what makes you weak and pale. The enemy pretending to be a friend. He came, behaved as a cultured person, but deceived you, cheated you, and then left. And that's the reason why you might be feeling weak and pale. Your attitude towards material things of life are in the open, and you are good at explaining things that are very complex. But the learned regard for you, but the learned don't regard you that much. They regard you very little. That's the reason why you feel weak and pale. Amidst the midst of those who are simply argumentative, you speak authoritatively, but your qualities remain unrecognized. That may be the reason why you feel weak and pale. Devoid of money, devoid of intelligence, you still aspire for higher things. Now, this is not pointing at others, but pointing to yourself. Okay, that's one of the elements that I have referred to, that how you relate yourself to yourself. Devoid of money and intelligence, you still aspire for higher things on the strength of your force alone. And you have failed. That's the reason why you feel weak and pale. Maybe you have set your heart on austerities and want to live in the forest, but your relatives don't approve of it. That's why you don't pursue what you wish to pursue. Or your son has a rude behavior. Your son-in-law has eyes on your property. Your wife is out of harmony with you. That means almost anyone around you, the relation with others, it's something which is in fact at distress, and that's what makes you weak and pale. There are a few more which are worth mentioning. In the past, you had killed a person devoted to knowledge and learning and stolen his money or property. You had killed a cow, and now that gnaws your mind. That's the reason why you feel weak and pale. Someone has taken away your wife, or you are growing old, or people are antagonistic towards you, and you keep worrying about them and him, and that is why you have become weak and pale. Maybe the money that you had set aside for your old age, others have taken it by force, deprived you of that money, and now you have to depend on your subsistence upon the wicked and the ignoble. And that's the reason why you feel very awkward and feel weak and pale. Maybe you love your life dearly, and you have a neighbor, someone who is very rich, young, charming, and pleasure-giving, and pleasure-loving, and out of that anxiety alone, you feel weak and pale. In the midst of rich, you say things that are high and noble, and they don't like it. That's the reason why you can as well feel weak and pale. Maybe someone once very dear to you, and out of his or her foolishness, now angry with you, and you are not able to pacify it and reconcile. That may be the reason why you would be weak and pale. So the list goes on and on. I can continue with this for another hour if I keep on explaining each of them. So that's the way in which the human pain, human condition of pain, and the various sources from which it emanates or originates are being described.